I only put it down here because there's space on the one, but basically you'll call them up here and you'll call them up here. But just call 7th grade reading.
הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. How beautiful it is to be here, feeling like we belong, arm in arm just like sister and brother, joined together in song. Hine ma tov ma naim, shevet שבת אחים גם יחד, הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד.
Well, Hine Matov, it is so good to get to be together tonight. So I want to say Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
That sounds amazing. That sounds so good. And I want to do a little bit of teaching because I think that we tonight are embodying what it means to be Jewish. Every word in Hebrew has a root that draws to something a little bit deeper than just what it says on the surface. And the word Jewish comes from the Hebrew word to be thankful. Tonight, we have a lot of things that we are thankful for. Now, I will mention that some of us are here being thankful for someone being in our lives and the gift of their presence that is no longer with us. Some of us are here because we are celebrating the first steps of a young adult in our community. We'll get to Sawyer in a little bit. Some of us are here because we have emerging adults stepping into this role, our 6th and 7th grade. 6th and 7th grade, can you lift up your hands? Woo! All right. Woo! And that's it. We don't have any other honors this evening. We have an incredible opportunity tonight to honor a key and essential member of this team and this congregation, literally the music and heart of our community. And so later we'll have more of an opportunity to share more gratitude, but I would be remiss in not saying that we are fulfilling our obligation as a Jewish community in celebrating one of the very dearest of our very own, David York. Well, let's begin. On page 20, we'll find the words Lecha Dodi. Let's sing in this holiday of Shabbat. Let's get started.
Lecha Dodi likrat kala penei Shabbat nikabla. Lecha Dodi likrat kala penei Shabbat nikabla. Shamor v'zachor b'dibur echad, hishmianu el hamyuchad. Adonai echad u'shmo echad, l'shem u'tiferet ve'litila. Lecha Dodi likrat kala penei Shabbat nikabla. Lecha Dodi likrat kala penei Shabbat nikabla. Hitoreri, kiva orech kumi ori. Uri, shidaberi, kivod Adonai alaych nigla. Lecha Dodi likrat kala penei Shabbat nikabla. Lecha Dodi likrat kala penei Shabbat nikabla. Please rise and face the door as we welcome the Sabbath bride. Boi v'shalom ateret bala, gam b'simcha uv'sola. Toch emunei am segula, boi chala, Lecha Dodi likrat kala penei Shabbat nikabla. Lecha Dodi likrat kala penei Shabbat nekabla. Shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Malachei HaShalom.
Well, as we begin the holiday of Shabbat, I'd like to invite Sawyer and Ken and Gwen up to light our Shabbat candles. The rest of the congregation I'd like to invite to please be seated. Now, many of us will note that we have not 2 candles, but 3 candles this Shabbat. It is because our hearts are not just here in this room, but on the other side of the world as well, with those members of our community who we are calling home, those members of our community in Israel who are in need of safety, and so we call for their safety each and every Shabbat by lighting an additional candle and keeping the light of that hope alive.
Oh, wait, yeah, there.
I don't want you to do something. Go ahead.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lehadlik ner, lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Congratulations. Thank you. I now would like to invite up our 7th grade to offer us a bit of teaching this evening.
Tonight, the 7th grade Torah Center class is going to explain further about the Holocaust. This devastating period of history caused extreme adversity for the Jews. However, in particular, the 7th grade class would like to highlight the area of resistance.
During the Holocaust, the Jews learned to resist in many ways, such as standing up to the guards and even fighting them. The 7th grade class has been learning more about the Holocaust throughout the last few months, using resources such as maps, pictures, and even visiting the Museum of Tolerance, and are now excited to share their knowledge with all of you. Next up, we'd like to invite up Sawyer.
To me, can you hear it? Okay. To me, being Jewish is not just practicing a religion, but also being a part of a community. One great value is tikkun olam, repairing the world. Taking action can be as simple as walking a neighbor's dog when they are sick, or as monumental as starting a nonprofit. Giving tzedakah is also a great way to make a difference, because if we all give a little, it adds a lot. Just like when we came together by giving tzedakah, we also need to come together to stand up for what is right. In the 1930s, even though people saw what was happening in Germany, no one stood up, and in turn, it caused a tragedy. Can I call up Robert to the podium?
In Judaism, values are very important. Values are things or ideas that you want to do or want for the world. You think that these values are just and would help the world. And sometimes values are hard to uphold. The Holocaust, for example, a mass attempted genocide that scarred the world forever. If you were lucky to escape, you might have to leave your family. If you were a child, you might just have to leave your parents. People were deported to separate them. Your family was being slaughtered. Hopes were dying. And yet, in Jewish ghettos, the very same people that the Nazis wanted to discourage and kill the Jews upheld their traditions and values. They kept their faith, culture, and morality. They turned a bad situation into a better one. We need that same sense of values and Jewishness today. We need to feel Jewish. For instance, I feel Jewish every Shabbat. Last Shabbat, Friday night, just be proud of your faith, tradition, and heritage. Have gava, which means pride. Yeah. I'd like to invite up Andrew to the podium.
I love being Jewish because there are places that make me proud of being Jewish. I get to be in a community where I feel I'm at home here at Temple Israel. I get to be in a community where I have friends and other people to relate with and have Judaism in common. Also, in comparison, people before the Holocaust had friends, played music, sports, and had hobbies like we do today. As we move on from generation to generation, our freedom has changed. We have been free since the war, but still face obstacles. It's important today because as Jewish people, we need to be in a community where we stick together since anti-Semitism still exists today. As a Jewish community, we need to learn the topic of the Holocaust so it never happens again. To Jewish and other groups of people, I am proud to be Jewish and hold tight to my identity. Since the people in the Holocaust of all ages who were Jewish before and after the war kept their Jewish identity close to them, I hold on to my identity today. So I would like to call up Eli.
Every single time I go to Temple Israel, I always feel like I have a spark of Jewish values. So I made an acrostic poem to show about Holocaust and Jewish values. J for Judenrat, E for escape, W for worldwide, I for Israel, S for shops banned by Nazis, H by Holocaust, V is values, A is Auschwitz camp, L is Lador Vador, U is unfair rules, E is education, and S is segregation. I would like to invite up Mason. All right. This year in Torah Center, I've learned so many things about the Holocaust and Jewish identity. Judaism is important to me because it shows who I am in every aspect of my life. I consider my Judaism. For example, I don't go to school on the holidays, Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. I took this year off of playing lacrosse because I need to study to become a bar mitzvah. Every night before I go to sleep, I say the Shema. There are certain things I don't eat because they're not kosher. My life is surrounded by my Jewish identity. When I went to the Museum of Tolerance with my Torah Center class, I was amazed by all of the artifacts and videos from the Holocaust. I was Ava, please.
This year in Temple Israel, we've been learning about the Holocaust, and so when we got told we needed to write something about the Holocaust, the first thing that came to my mind was writing something about the Holocaust with every letter of the alphabet. So with A through Z, I took something from the Holocaust. So for A, I put Auschwitz, because that was a big camp and a part of the Holocaust. For B, I put Bayit. C, I put camps. D, I put death. E, I put escape. F, I put food. G, I put ghettos. H, I put Holocaust. I put isolation. For J, I put Judenroth. K, I put Kinder transport. For L, I put Lador Vador. For M, I put media. N, I put Nazis. O, I put opposition. P, I put propaganda. Q, I put quotas. R, I put religion. S, I put shops ban Jews. T, people were treated poorly. U, there were unfair rules. V, the Jewish values. W, I put World War. X, I don't know what that says. Y, I put Israel. And Z, I put ZDWN, which means pride. I would now like to call up Mira.
Sometimes I feel Jewish, include when I'm going to bar mitzvahs, hanging out with my Jewish friends, and eating matzah soup. There are also times when I don't feel Jewish, such as when I play soccer or in math class. But the Jewish people in the Holocaust always felt Jewish. They felt Jewish when they walked down the street and saw signs that said Jews not allowed here. They felt Jewish when they went to school and could not interact with their classmates and teachers. They never could not feel Jewish that they were treated worse than animals and surrounded by constant hatred by their fellow people just because of religion. I'd like to invite up Mia.
Being Jewish means a lot to me. I feel it has played a big role in the person I have become today. In Judaism, there are many holidays, including Passover and Hanukkah. For Passover, we have a Seder with family and do not eat leavened foods. For Hanukkah, we eat latkes and also light candles for 8 nights. It is important to continue these traditions because during the Holocaust, Jews were not able to celebrate their heritage or religion. I have learned from Passover that everyone deserves respect, even if you don't know them. The story of Hanukkah has taught me have hope even when it seems hopeless. During the Holocaust, those values were important to Jews because even when it seemed hopeless, they still had hope. I would like to invite up Eliana to the podium.
To me, I feel that it is important to keep the stories of the Holocaust alive because it brings out how strong Jewish people are as a whole to go through something as terrible as the Holocaust and still practice traditions that we use today. People also need to realize that the Holocaust was not some ancient thing that happened 200 or 300 years ago, and that the problems that occurred during the Holocaust still occur today. I would like to invite up Rio.
What I wrote about the Holocaust is about Jewish life before the Holocaust, and that it's like us today. Life before the Jewish Holocaust, Jewish people living in Europe was that they're going to temple, going to the beach, having dance rehearsals, practicing their instruments, and doing whatever we do to this day. But I know one thing that we still hold to this day is that we all hold a smile. This relates to us because we still do this every single day, even if we don't do it or we did it in the past or in the future. And that's what I wrote about. I'd like to invite up Noah, Aliana, Alma, and Luca.
This is a song that we all wrote called L'Ador Vador. From the door of our door, through generations past, our stories woven, an unbroken cast, with faith as our guide, tradition our song, in every heartbeat, our legacy goes on. L'Ador Vador, we stand hand in hand, bound by our heritage, across the land, with courage we'll soar, our spirits will roar, forever united. L'Ador Vador, through trials and triumphs, we journey far, our bond unyielding, like a guiding star, in the tapestry of time, our voices rise, with echoes of our ancestors, reaching the skies. L'Ador Vador, we stand hand in hand, bound by our heritage, across the land, with courage we'll soar, our spirits will roar, forever united. L'Ador Vador, 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 Vador. Oh, can we please invite the 6th grade up for the Barchu?
Well, as we continue with the Baruch Hu, you'll find the words on page 28. Please rise in body or in spirit.
Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la.
We invite our 7th grade back up to lead us in the Ma'ariv Aravim on page 30 of our prayer books.
Please join us in the Ma'ariv Aravim on page 30.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bidbaro Ma'ariv Aravim, b'chokhmah poteach asher
Uvituno.
Umalhif et hazmanim, umasader et hakochavim.
Mishrateim v'rakim kirtzon, borei yom v'layla, golel or mifnei choshech.
Mifnei or kavir yom levi layla, umavdil yom.
Hanai Samaot Shemel, El Hai V'Kayam, Tamid Yimloch Aleinu Leolam Va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai, Hama'ariv Aravim.
Please join us on page 32 for the Ahavat Olam.
Ahavat Olam, Beit Yisrael Amcha Ahavcha, Torah u'mitzvot, Hukim u'mishpatim, Otanu limita. Al kain Adonai Eloheinu, B'shochbeinu u'kumeinu, Nasiach behukecha, V'nizmach b'divrei Toratcha, U'mitzvotecha le'olam va'ed. Ki hem chayenu ve'orech yameinu, uvahem negeh yomam v'leila, ve'ahavatcha al tasir mimenu le'olamim. Baruch atah Adonai, ohev amo Yisrael. Can the 6th grade please come back up for the Shema?
Wait, is that correct?
I'm going to invite our sixth grade to remain up while we continue our V'ahavta prayer, our Shema prayer. And so I'd like to invite Sawyer to join us here at the front to lead us in the V'ahavta this Shabbat as he celebrates his bar mitzvah. The rest of the congregation I'd like to invite to please be seated.
Please join me on page 36 for the V'ahavta. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol avavcha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol meodecha v'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anuchi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha Vishinantam levanecha v'dibarta b'am v'shivtecha b'beitecha uv'lechtecha v'aderech uv'shofrecha uv'kumecha uv'shartam leot al yedecha v'hayulut k'mefot bein einecha uv'tavtam al mezuzotvecha uv'isharecha Leman tizkeru v'asietem et kol mitzvotai v'hietem kedoshim le'Elohechem Ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim l'hiot lachem Elohim Ani Adonai Elohechem.
We're going to learn from our sixth graders this evening a little bit about some of the values that we're espousing in our service tonight.
The V'ahavta prayer that Sawyer just sang tells us about when to show our love for God, but it doesn't tell us how. Our class had a conversation about what actions can show our love for God. We would like to share these ideas with you now. Treating others the way you want to be treated.
Volunteering and loving others.
Giving thanks.
Reducing waste and not hurting people's feelings.
Helping others and showing gratitude.
Being respectful and being generous.
Being responsible and doing mitzvahs.
Picking up trash.
Thinking before you say something. Taking care of yourself.
Taking care of nature.
Being compassionate, being present in the moment.
Donating tzedakah.
Being open to new ideas.
Putting up a mezuzah, choosing actions that make a positive impact.
Going to temple and praying.
Being considerate.
Making smart choices.
Yasher Koach to our sixth grade. Yasher Koach. Yasher Koach to our sixth graders. Well, we continue our service tonight with the words on page 40. I'd like to invite up our seventh grade to introduce our Micha Mocha prayer.
La 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 la
we'd like to invite up the 7th grade Tefillah group.
Please join us for the Amidah on page 48 and rise in body or in spirit. 46.
We continue silently, either using words on the pages to follow or other words that we'll find in our hearts. We'll join together again with the words on page 62 of our prayer books. When you've completed your prayer, please be seated.
Page 62. I would now like to ask David to please have a seat, and I would like to ask Richard to join him. David York has been playing here at Temple Israel for 25 years. That is a quarter of the entire lifespan of the temple. He started playing the organ here with Cantor Marvin Findley, who we are so happy are joining us tonight. And then eventually he transitioned to this beautiful piano that is on the bima right now after the remodel. And he has collaborated with 3 cantors, right? 3 different cantors. And he has expertly led the adult choir for 25 High Holy Day seasons so far. We're about to start 26. All new music, by the way. Okay. Watching David run the High Holy Day rehearsals is truly a lesson in organization and patience. He comes prepared to every rehearsal with an exact agenda, written on the back of a used envelope, so he is also very environmentally conscious. Whether he's playing the organ or the piano, his musicianship and musicality supports and upholds every service, adding layers of depth and richness that makes the service that much more beautiful. And I feel very lucky that I get to sing with you and have your music uplift and uphold me through every service. David, we have some surprises for you tonight to honor you for the past 25 years, and we look forward to the next 25 years. First, I would like to invite up the president of the board, Jerry Levy.
A few years ago, I was observing...
Yeah, we need the mic.
A few years ago, I saw this guy sitting back here trying to hide in that corner. And I went up to him after a few perfunctory greetings and I said, "What do you do for a day job?" And he says, "I teach." "Okay." "I teach piano," was his reply. And I thought, well, we have a piano at our house, and maybe after I retire, I could take lessons. And he, without hesitating at all, said, "Absolutely." And then I decided I wasn't going to wait till I retired because, as you know, life is uncertain. And so I started playing piano before the pandemic. This is an important part of our story. And in spite of the fact that I'm a difficult student, would you like to say something? I got to know David quite well, and there's a few things that I think you probably all know, but it bears repeating. And that is that he is incredibly patient, he's kind, and he's gentle. And he made me feel comfortable even when I was struggling, because I don't think this hand had any idea what this hand was doing. These are the traits that David brings every day that he's here, whether it's with bar and bat mitzvah students, sometimes think really fast and sometimes very slow. He's able to keep up with them whichever way they're going. You mentioned the High Holy Day Choir, absolutely fantastic. And of course, you play at all of our services. It seems like you only started a few days ago, but it's been 25 years that went by in a flash. You've added so much to our services. Tonight is a celebration, not a retirement party. And remember, Lloyd served for 36 years.
I'd now like to call up Cantor Marvin Finley.
As I look around here, I find it hard to believe that it's been 10 years since I stood upon this very spot and led services. And when I left a man who was up in the loft, whom nobody ever saw, who really enjoyed the position when I hired him 25 years ago, because number one, he didn't have to dress up. Well, when I arrived in '83, of course, our organist was Lloyd Holzgraf, and when his health declined and I had to replace him, I felt, where am I going to find another person that can incorporate all the talent that Lloyd had to work with the kids and the adults and to work with the Cantor. And lo and behold, little did I know that I'd already come into contact periodically with Lloyd when he came in to sometimes substitute for our choir pianist. So I went to the trouble of trying to find some other candidates, thinking, well, of course I'll include David in that group, but I've got to, look around, because I'm not sure if I present this to David that he'll be willing to do that. It involves a lot more responsibility than he has just going to the church. It involves a tremendous time commitment for High Holy Days, working with sometimes rambunctious young people. And so I did interview 2 other candidates for the position, and neither of whom seemed to be the right person to me. And then, of course, as they say, you don't know what you have in your own backyard. Here was a gentleman whom I already had met, and I knew how he played, and I knew his temperament, which that's a big temperaments and your personality in dealing with unusual situations is really important for anybody that's working in a situation like this synagogue. Everybody is an individual. Everybody has different desires, including their likes and dislikes of various music. So I had to be prepared to do all kinds of different music, and I expected that the person I would choose wouldn't be necessarily tied to every note, because sometimes cantors like to hold high notes. And the person accompanying the cantor has to be prepared to accommodate that style of singing. But anyway, I did hire David, and I have to say that my intuition that he was the right person proved correct. As over the 15 years that we worked together, I saw how well David adapted to the demands of accompanying these various kinds of singers and musical environment. And I have to say that because he was himself a choir director, and when I would be conducting the choir, the first 16 of those 25 years, of course, I conducted the choir. He provided the accompaniment. And again, as Jerry just said, he's very easy to work with. Even though I might be tearing my hair out, Lloyd was just sitting there patiently waiting for me to decide what to do. And I really did appreciate that. So I just wanted to emphasize, because not a lot of people who come to High Holy Days, for instance, realize what goes on to prepare everything about that service, including the music. The tremendous amount of time and energy on the part of the choir, on the part of the cantor, on the part of the accompanist, over a span of a couple of months in preparing the music that you hear for your services. And I like to do a different range, a large range of music. We did everything from 19th century grand choral works to very simple melodies that one might hear accompanied by a guitar. And David handled it all. So I have to say that that is the main, the first High Holy Days that we did together, that's the proving ground. If you could get through that, then I knew I had made the right choice. And of course, we got through it, and we're still getting through it. But I have to say, probably and you also got through the pandemic. You've got through, as Kelly mentioned, you got through, you weathered my retirement, and that was a kind of a scary situation, because who knew? And David would say, well, what do you think? What do you think's going to happen? I said, I don't know. I don't know who they're going to get to replace me, whether that person will say, forget the organ, and they did. But not totally, though, I have to say. I'm happy now that Kelly has reintroduced the organ a little bit to our spiritual.
Next week, come next week.
Yeah. But so he got through that. He got through the changes in the temple's spiritual leadership. Remember all that went on. And he was a constant throughout that. The arrival of the guitar, the shift to piano for services, and additional duties as choir director and conductor, and of course the pandemic. I have a tremendous amount of respect for everybody associated in the leadership of this congregation. The pandemic tested you severely, I know, and we got through it. Look at all the new faces we have. I look around this room and I see some people that I remember. I see a lot of people that I don't know, but that's a healthy sign, right? That's a healthy sign for the growth of this congregation. So he got through all that, but I'm not so sure how he's doing with the most important test of his character. Now you have to dress up. I really feel good about our dream team here, the Rabbi, the Cantor, and the pianist organist. And I'm happy that I was able to find the right person 25 years ago to help to continue our tradition as a musical congregation. Thank you, David, for your help when I was here during my years, and for your continuing service to our congregation for 25 years. Thank you very much.
David does an amazing job conducting the choir because he's playing. So he plays and he uses his head, and when he has a free hand, he uses his hand, and it's really amazing. David, you touch the lives of many generations here, from the adults in the choir, the kids in the youth choir, and the congregants who are here for services, and the nervous 7th graders that you accompanied during their B'nai Mitzvah. He rehearses with them before each service, and I'm the only one in the room that gets to watch the rehearsal, and he is so gentle with encouragement and humor, and he really helps them relax. It's really a gift. So I'd like to invite up Andrew Kahn, a recent bar mitzvah, to speak about David.
Hello, David. My name is Andrew, and I had my bar mitzvah in December. I learned prayers and songs for my joyous day. I met David, who was kind and supportive. When I was uncertain of the melody, David was always there. He would play the piano, which led me to excel. His music is peaceful and brings us all together. Thank you.
I'd like to invite up Jackie Fritz. Oh, okay, come on up.
So I put this PowerPoint together. It's a shorty, but I'd just like you to see some of the things that David had to endure while we were singing and he was conducting. I mean, Marvin used to conduct this way. Do you remember that? A little hand on the side, a little flapping of the wings. David does the... So, a man of many talents. He plays the keyboard and he conducts. He plays a little Casio, he plays a big piano, and oftentimes he plays the piano with one hand while he's conducting with the other. Who can do that? Jerry, I can't. Can you? You're brave. At least you started piano lessons. I'm afraid I'd be fired. Whoops, sorry. So from organs, any organ, huge pipes, with so many stops, there's no stopping this man with all his talent. It's amazing. How does he reach some of those? Do you preset some of those that are way up there? I mean, I looked at the seats down here, and some of the stops are up there. I have no idea. It's pretty amazing. So did you know that he speaks German? One of the stops says, lieblich gedeckt, which in German means lovingly covered. All right? There are two stops. One is 6 foot tall and one is 8 foot tall. So that means a lot of blankets, I guess. I don't know, but gedeckt means cover up. So I didn't know you spoke German. So I don't know, how many of you have a stick shift? And you still drive with the clutch? See, nobody has that. Okay? I know when I learned how to drive with the clutch, I thought my father was going to have a coronary because there was a cop coming across the street and I had to make a left turn. Oh my God. And I across the intersection and my father said, that's it, get out. I don't know. He has 88 fingers. He can play the piano. Amazing. And look at that. He not only can play the keyboard, but he can play the footboard at the same time. How many of you can have trouble just walking? So walking and playing the piano and playing with your feet as well, amazing, amazing. And those are his little tiny shoes he wears. So he can get in between the keys. Isn't that cute? Do you have to have little feet to play? I don't know, those are so cute. So he graduated from, he has a master's degree from USC, oof, right? And he has a bachelor's from the University of Puget Sound. So this is a man who is not unscholared. He was a choir director at St. John's Episcopal of Los Angeles. Look at all those pipes. My goodness. He was a choir director of St. Luke's Episcopal. He's the director of the choir at St. Mark's in Downey. And he's the choir director at St. Gregory's in Long Beach. Do you see him in the back? He's singing. Did you know David sang too? I didn't know that. I don't know why you're not singing. Is it just the picture, David? He's also performed at Temple Menorah. He's the accompanist at Long Beach Chorale. I want you to look at what he's playing. We went all out. I'm a member of the Long Beach Chorale, on top of in the High Holiday Choir and the Temple Israel Choir. We gave him a Casio. How many keys are on a Casio? Same number? Didn't sound like it. If you've ever sung in the aquarium, the sound goes that way, and when you're down in the pit singing, you can't hear anything. It's crazy. So, How are we so lucky to have you for 25 years? A piano, an organ, here at Temple Israel. You do realize this isn't the only place he plays. He plays for many places at the same time, and we are all blessed with his talent. So there are so many jobs that makes Temple Israel unique. The bar and bat mitzvah that we've all talked about, single key that he always makes sound good. No matter what key the kid starts in, he just hugs them with music. It's great. Many Jewish holidays that aren't on a calendar, and he manages to get here. You know it, we have a holiday for every holiday, right? And we bake challah for the holidays, right? The following services, which sometimes change suddenly. Oh, sun's going down, we have to cut out that number and that number. Wait, the rabbi skipped, well, we're fine, we'll get it, right? And David just plays along. Music is repeated or deleted depending on sunset. Some music in ancient handwritten script, oh my gosh, some of the music is scary. Or we write, 76, we sing it this way, and in 88, we sing it this way, right? Yes, no, yes? Although when Kelly has come, we have done much better in trying to get all our music together. Conducting and rehearsing and claim their copy of music doesn't have what we just rehearsed. What did you do with your music? I don't know. David's like, yeah. Missing, let's see. The congregation is listening carefully for the word at the end of the prayer because that's his cue to play, right? So if we don't say the right word, David doesn't know when to start playing. So that's your responsibility. So you can't sleep through the service because he's waiting for that word. We're watching you. Okay, am I right? He sits alert no matter how long the sermon is. You ever watched him? He has no back on that piano bench, and he sits tall and erect and never falls asleep. It's amazing. I know some of you do. He's tolerant of our errors as long as we listen. He has the patience of Job. This is the organ upstairs when he plays with his sweats on. So you see the organ. Why the remote control? Because he has a TV above the organ where he watches us. I get confused which remote I need to use, so we'd be in trouble already. And there's the camera where he's peering at you. So he may be in sweats, but he knows what you're wearing. And that's our music. And believe me, it looks so much better, I am telling you. It has names on it, it's organized, and we reorganize it every year, but it looks so much better, so much better. But it's constantly in flux. You know, we change pieces every year. How does he do it? Where does he get his strength? Besides his emotional and his musical talent, some of his places that he likes to eat are Catella, and he has a little nash there. Or, I was told by some of your choir members, this is the other place you like to eat. Okay? So love and dedication and talent. So, ahava, I give, therefore I love. Judaism teaches us that love is not just about feelings. It's about how we make others feel. Selfless, giving, fulfilling of needs, and of desires of many. Thank you, David. Sorry.
The choir would like to serenade you now.
Is this live?
Yes. Oh, you know what? I don't want you to trip on that.
Do I what?
Do you love us?
Do I love you? With our music in a mess and the service in 2 days, you're upset, you're worn out, take a pill, go lie down. Maybe it's just frustration.
David, we're asking you a question. Do you love us?
You're an optimist.
We know, but do you love us?
Do I love you?
Well,
For 25 years I've waved my hands, bobbed my head, played for you, given you enjoyment, showed you patience. After 25 years, why talk about love right now?
David, the first time we met, you was in our social hall. We were nervous.
You were uncertain.
We were unruly.
I was overwhelmed.
But the Rabbi and the Cantor said we learned to love each other. And now we're asking David, do you love us?
I'm your director.
We know, but do you love us?
Do I love them? For 25 years I've played for them, fought with them, scolded them. 25 years my talent is theirs. If that's not love, what is?
Then you love us.
I suppose I do.
And we suppose we love you too.
It doesn't change a thing, but even so, after 25 years, it's nice to know.
David, I'd like to. David, I'd like to invite you to join us up here. Thank you. Now, I have to think, we've spent so much time together in this space, but I'm trying to remember a moment when we've stood together in this spot when other people are present, and we're not just chatting, David, we have a gift that we want to offer to you this evening, knowing that as you hopefully have the opportunity to remember this tremendous love that this community holds for you, we want to offer as well a symbol so that it's right there in front of your eyes, that you know that our love is with you. David, you know how much this congregation loves you and how much you have meant to this community. And so this evening we wanted to, as they say, Shabbat is a taste. We wanted to give just a taste of what that appreciation and that gratitude is. And we hope that you can appreciate and accept this gift from us as well. This is how you know it's new. There we go.
Just thank you so much. I'm really overwhelmed. This is absolutely lovely. I do want to say one more thing, though, about playing the organ. In the days that I was playing the organ for bar and bat mitzvahs, frequently during the Torah reading, I would go across the street to the store and get some candy or something. So just want you to know that I can't do that anymore. But I'm so happy to be down here and with all of you. And thank you so much for this. It's really overwhelming, and I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Now, this is only David would be honored and then immediately continue to play.
I have to go back to work. I have to go back to work now.
But in all fairness,
To move on.
in all fairness, it would not be our prayer service without your music. And so, David, thank you. To spend so much time teaching our 7th graders that was not, you have to stay here during services the whole time now. Well, I know that we come into this space with many different needs. And so for many of us, we are here because we're ready to celebrate. And nevertheless, we know that there is healing that needs to happen in our world, and there is healing that needs to happen for those who are near to each one of us. And so I invite us to turn our thoughts to those people who are in need. As we offer words of healing, we turn to each other and hope for strength, and you'll find in the handout that we have this evening the names of those who are in our community, and I invite us to take a look to see who is in need of healing. The strength and healing that we ask for this evening comes in the form of finding that strength in being together and perhaps a phone call, a text message, reaching out to one another. If you are joining us online, I'd like to invite you to take a break from all of the myriad of notes of love and appreciation and gratitude for our very own David York. And I invite you to turn to those that you might be thinking of. You can share their names in the chat. Together, our community holds in our hearts those who have recently come onto our Mishaberach list. And so our hearts are with Joyce Feldman, Julie Hamer, Jennifer Hirsch, Joan Leb, Kevin O'Grady, Natalie Susan, Isabel Wolf, Mark Ellis, Jagjit Ken, Sam Sanderson, Shoshana Siegel, and Kathy Stelmar. If you're here in our sanctuary and are thinking of someone in particular this Shabbat, it's our custom to invite you to rise and to share their name as my eyes meet yours. Inevitably, two of us will share a name at the same time. That's okay. I invite us to share these names so that we can find strength with each other.
My brother Homer Yost. My mother Alberta Fritz. Me Cromwell. Jason Bieber. Grayson Porter. Dina Newman.
Megan Coutinho.
If we add to these names, Rod Morgan, Olivia Escoboza, Michelle Dunn, Linda Lord, and Claire Steinberger. We continue with the words of Misha Berach on page 253. Page 253.
Mikor habracha leimotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Mi sheberach imotenu mikor habracha lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
We continue now with the Aleinu on page 282. Page 282, please rise in body or in spirit.
Aleinu l'shabeach ladon hakol, latet gedula leotzer breshit, shelo asanu kegoyei haratzot, velo samanu kemishbechot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkenu kahem, vegor aleinu kechol hamonam, va'anachnu korim, umishtachavim umodim, lifnei melech, malchei hamlachim, hakadosh baruch hu. V'ne'emar, v'haya Adonai, lemelech al kol ha'aretz, bayom ha'hu, bayom ha'hu, yeh Adonai echad, u'shemo, u'shemo, u'shemo echad.
Please be seated. Our world does not want us to stop. Our world pushes us to keep going and moving, and there are many times when that is a good thing. Nevertheless, because it is such a fundamental value, the forward motion of ourselves, our world, it makes it even more shocking when someone stops. Each and every one of us has had people in our lives who have changed us, who have made us into the people that we are today. And it would seem that our world would ask us to appreciate that person and then to move on, but quite simply, there are also times when we need to stop. because our hearts can't move forward, or simply because we have been so deeply impacted by that person that we need a moment to say what they have meant to us. We gather tonight as well to share comfort in knowing that each of us have shared a loss. And my hope in offering these words together as a community, that we might find comfort. If you're joining us online, I invite you to share the names of those that you are thinking of in the chat at this time. Additionally, our hearts are with those members of our community who are in Shiva and Shoshim, observing the 7 and 30 days after the death of someone near to them. And so as we remember Donna of Ellie Haynes, our hearts are with Cecilia and Danny Danziger. And as we remember Gloria Simon, our hearts are with Martin Simon, Helene and Janet, Ron and Sean. And as we remember Katie Schwartz, our hearts are with Jay Alhada. And as we remember Harold Seifer, our hearts are with Liz and Phil, Cheryl, Julia, Madison, Eli, Chelsea, and Sydney. This Shabbat, we also mark the yard site, the anniversary of the death of Seidel Abravanel, Garth Begler, Saul Benjamin, Sylvia Bernard, Mildred Blyer, Dorothy Block, Sally Chasen, Harry Durenfeld, Ruth Dorfman, Vivian Elbert, Molly Finkel, Beverly Fleischman, Mark Fox, Betty Gandil, Stephen Goldsman, Anita Kipnis, Deborah Krushar, Lorraine Kroll, Charlotte Levin, Linda Levine, Ernest Levy, Maxine Lieberman, Anna Lissack, Randall Lockman, Albert Malamed, Julie Meeks, Thomas Meyer, Ruth Morris, Sylvia Ross, Harry Sachs, Robert Schneider, Wolf Shoag, James Swain, Robert Thompson, Joseph Warren, Michael Wendell, Andrea Winkler, June Yarush, and Ruben Yost. If you are here having suffered a recent loss or thinking of someone in particular on this Shabbat, I invite you to rise and to share their name as my eyes meet yours.
My Aunt Ruth Rithabel. Renee Slaughter. My mom, Sylvia Friedman, and my aunt, Rita Roth. My sister, Marcy.
We add to these names Will McHenry and Arlene Hyman. I'd like to invite all of us to turn to the words on page 294, Page 294, and let's rise together and as one. Itgadal v'itgadash shemir rabba, v'elma divara chute v'elmlich malchute, v'chayechon dechol beit Yisrael, v'agala v'zman kariv v'imru, amen. Yehi shmei rabba meborach leolam u'meil mayach, Stabach v'itpa'ar v'itramam v'itnaseh, v'itadar v'itale v'talal shemei d'kudisha barichu, Lamin kol birchata v'shuata, tushbachata v'nechamata, damiran be'alma v'imru, amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim alenu v'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, amen. Rumav, v'ya'aseh shalom. Alenu v'al kol Yisrael, v'al kol yoshvei tebel, v'imru, amen. Zichronam libracha, may the memories of those near to us always be a source of blessing. I invite us together to say, amen. Please be seated. I'd like to invite up a member of our board of directors and student of David York, president of Temple Israel, Jerry Levy, to share some announcements this evening.
Good evening, everyone.
Yeah.
So, this is amazing. This is typical of activities here. There are so many different groups here together, and every week our schedule is absolutely packed. Many of those items are in here. I particularly want to direct your attention to the back page. Next weekend is part of our 100-year celebration for the temple, and it's going to be a spectacular weekend. Take a look at this, take it home, make sure that you're here next week. Now, I would like to thank Kenneth and Gwen for the oneg in honor of their son Sawyer, who is going to do a spectacular job tomorrow. And if you're not doing anything tomorrow morning, you should be here. Tomorrow morning, actually, is every Saturday morning we have Torah study with the rabbi. And tomorrow I've been asked by our food maven, if you want to come, and you should, bring some hummus, right?
Chametz. Chametz.
Oh, some chametz.
So one of the things that we're going to do is have Hebrew lessons. Hamid?
Chametz, anything you can't eat on Passover.
Oh, you said hummus.
You can bring hummus too.
It's a hummus and chametz because you need something to dip into the hummus. So bring your chametz to dip into the hummus.
Do I get to start over? All right, settle down. We have an oneg to get to. All right, now, our Social Action Committee invites you on Sunday over here at Honeybees to participate in a climate Zedek opportunity, and it's in here too, so take a look at that. This is a great week. We have Passover coming up, and there will be Yisker, right, at that service, so be sure to think about that. It was already mentioned once, but next Friday night we will have David in his scrubs. Do you even own scrubs? All right. Now, you may have heard that on May 11th, something really spectacular is going to happen right here. And that is our annual gala. The committee has been working really hard to make sure this is going to be a spectacular event. And if you've not signed up yet, contact the office and please do. And we look forward to seeing you on May 11th. Now, there are so many opportunities here for you to get involved. Like I said, they're in here. Take this home. And we look forward to seeing you at many events here at the temple. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Just to clear up, there's 2 Passover services. There's one Tuesday morning that does not have Yizkor. The following Monday will have a Yizkor service. There's 2. Yeah, just clear. And the Oneg, honoring David, is in the foyer. No, after.
We got
after
one more
song.
prayer.
We're going to call up the 6th and 7th grade to finish off the service. Surprise! Come on up.
I did not sign up for this.
The one with the...
What song?
The singing? Yes, with the singing. I don't know the words. I should not be impressed. Yeah. I've only been here for 2 years. I'm sorry. I'm too sure.
It's just something like that.
I'm a little bit too short.
Say shalom, be your mind. Oh, say shalom, be your mind. Ooh-yah, say, ooh-yah, say, ooh-yah, say shalom. Ooh-yah, say, ooh-yah, say, ooh-yah, say shalom. Ooh-yah, say, ooh-yah, say, ooh-yah, say shalom. Hallelujah. 1, 2, 3, 4. May the one bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one brings peace, bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one brings peace, bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one brings peace, bring peace down, bring peace down. Oh, say shalom. Be no mind. Oh, say shalom. Be no mind. Ooh-yah, I say, ooh-yah, I say, ooh-yah, I say shalom. Ooh-yah, I say, ooh-yah, I say, ooh-yah, I say shalom. Ooh-yah, I say, ooh-yah, I say, ooh-yah, I say shalom. Hallelujah. 1, 2, 3, 4. May the one who brings peace, bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who brings peace, bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who brings peace, bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who brings peace, bring peace down, bring peace down.
Yasher Koach to our 6th and 7th grade. Yasher Koach and Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Shabbat Shalom.
200.
Thank you. I hate this. I hope to never ever see you ever again. I don't want to see you ever again. Okay, never gonna see you again. Never want to see you again. I hope I never see you again. I hope I never see you.
Oh.
Hi. Oh. It's on. Bye.